So I just recorded this video and my mic was muted for 40 minutes. I did a 40-minute video and my mic was muted. I am kind of tilted right now, but I will go over what I just talked about and sound like a broken record, to myself at least. So, we're going to talk about the tier list. Originally, the video I just recorded, we moved everybody around after I discussed them. But we're going to do it in reverse order now because I've just done the fucking video and I was muted. Okay. So, context. I did the tier list. I'm sure a lot of you who already watched the tier list are watching this because you hated my placements on REINA, KAZUYA, Devil Jin. That was basically it, really. REINA, KAZUYA, and Devil Jin. Okay. So, I did change a few things around, which I spoke about in the video I just recorded that you will never watch or listen to. But basically, Victor is here because Victor was moved up because of his safe high power crush heat engager. I don't know why. Honestly, with Victor, I don't really have a reason why he was so low. Like, he can't be that low with a safe high power crush heat engager. That was just a mishap on my end. And Lily was a bit better than I originally thought. Okay, so first thing, I've reordered this tier list, like the actual tiers, to make it clearer, because the main thing in that video was supposed to be about the order of the characters, right? It wasn't saying if you're in the top row, you are broken and need to be nerfed, you are playing a broken character. It was really just about the order, and it kind of got ahead of me through the video that I wasn't really thinking too much about the actual tiers. It was more about the order of characters. So, that's out the way. The main thing I wanted to actually talk about in this video is to redo REINA, KAZUYA, and Devil Jin. The reason is because actually a lot of you don't know, but REINA is my main at Tekken God, and KAZUYA is my second at Bushin. Okay? So trying to be unbiased on these characters clearly went very wrong. Because I read some of your comments in the comments section. In fact, I read most of them. Some of them I didn't agree with, but some of them, you know what, I can admit when I'm wrong. And yeah, I was wrong on these characters. REINA is still very good in my opinion. Some of you guys think she should be weaker, but I have had a lot of experience with REINA. I've mained her since day one. She is really, really good. But we will talk about them. Right, first things first. My main, REINA. So, we're going to go over the strengths and weaknesses again, and over more detail, okay? Firstly, let's talk about REINA's strengths. The obvious thing to talk about is forward 2, okay? It's basically the core of her gameplay, right? In the neutral. It controls the neutral. Just your opponent knowing about forward 2 and being scared of getting hit by forward 2 and you confirming Sentai 3, that will control the neutral for you. If you're REINA, you're kind of in the driving seat in the neutral because people are so afraid of that. If you delay the second forward input, it's very fucking difficult to step. It's really tricky. You can step it. Like I said in that video, you can step it, but it's very tricky, and it's very quick. It's a very, very fast move. And also in heat, forward 2 into Sentai 3 heat dash gives you a lot of damage, right? It's basically a combo. It's combo damage, right? It's very, very good. The counterplay to forward 2 is what I said in that last video. Forward 2 on block, you can jab. You can jab interrupt everything apart from the homing high and the homing low. The homing high will trade with the jab at 12 frames. But you will, the homing low, 3+4, Sentai 3+4, that will evade the jab, of course, because it's a homing low. It low crushes. Both of these mind you, are a high and a low. So if you low block, you will evade both options. Obviously, the REINA doesn't have to do that. But if you keep jab interrupting them, maybe they'll decide I'm only going to do Sentai 3 and Sentai 3+4, right? Or they can just do forward 2 and do nothing, right? Or they can do forward 2 and spin and then do nothing, right? So there is a mind game there as well. It's not a very good mind game, but it is a mind game. It gets them guessing a lot of the time. It gets them guessing more of the time, and it can mix them up a little bit. Although it's still not that great. You can step a lot of forward 2. Really, forward 2 is so good just because it controls the neutral. It's basically homing, and it guarantees Sentai 3, which is a heat engager, right? That is very good. She has a down forward 2, right? Which is -12, but which is -12, and it doesn't launch duckers. I'm sure the reason it's -12 is because she has an electric, and she also has a hop kick at -13, which is very good. Obviously, a Mishima that has an electric, as well as a down forward 2, and a hop kick. That's very good. Very good. Electric's a very good pressure tool. Obviously, reduced tracking on her electric compared to KAZUYA, which is pretty important. Heaven's Wrath stance mix-up after Hell Sweep is really good. And also running 4 as well, which is really good. A homing isn't that great, but she does have a mid-homing poke, which is kind of like a keep-out tool. It's safe, and if it hits, you're +2, right, as REINA, but they're pushed so far away from you that it kind of resets the neutral. She has CD3, which is basically KAZUYA's forward 4, which is really, really good for Oki. It's the same thing as KAZUYA, really. Apart from, it's the same thing as KAZUYA, really, in the fact that it counter-hit launches, right? Well, the cool thing about that move is if you just frame CD3, it becomes safe. If you don't just frame it, it's -13. Which is pretty cool. There's like an execution barrier there if you want to use that move effectively, which is pretty cool. Unbreakable throws are really good out of Sentai and Heaven's Wrath. And her while standing 4/4, right? Unlike KAZUYA's, instead of it being -1, if you hold down, you go into Heaven's Wrath and it's +6. Or is it +4? No, it's +6. Which gives you guaranteed mix-up, right? In Heaven's Wrath, you've got a homing option, you've got a tracking option with 3+4, you've got the 2 option, which is a safe mid-heat engager. You've got 3/4, which is like the Heihachi up forward 3/4. You can go back into Heaven's Wrath from there. There's a lot. You can cancel out of Heaven's Wrath and go back into Wind God Step and do Hell Sweep mix-up again. Down forward 1's really good with REINA. Oh my god, forward 4 is really good with REINA. +2 on block. If they crouch, just like Heihachi's forward 4, guarantees down forward 1/2. And REINA's down forward 1/2 is a heat engager, right? So it's very good at the wall, and it's also good if you're in heat and you just want to, a guaranteed CD3, right? Out of heat dash. That's really good. Okay. I think we covered REINA's... Oh no, we didn't talk about heat. Okay. With heat, REINA in heat is very good. Really the great things about REINA in heat is 3+4 for 4 is a good string. You can sidewalk it to the right if you sidewalk the whole time. You can sidewalk it. You know, she's got a couple of other extensions which are safe at -8 with chip damage, right, in heat. And I should say their mid extensions are very hard to step. Oh, down 3+4 is good. That's a counter hit throw, like counter hits into like a throw, which is very good. But in heat, really where she shines in heat is while standing 4/4 is a parry bait. Oh, so when she's in Heaven's Wrath, right, in heat, highs and mids are automatically parried like Heihachi's reversal, parry reversal. So what you can do is you can do things like while standing 4/4, which is launch punishable on block. But if you hold down and go into Heaven's Wrath in heat, it becomes a parry bait, right? If they press into that with a high or mid, it gets parried, right? They can obviously throw you, but it's a good parry bait. Also, Hell Sweep. I mean, you wouldn't really use Hell Sweep for that, but down forward 4-2, hold down to Heaven's Wrath also becomes actually a really good tool in Heat, because it also, if they know not to press into you, you can then get basically a free mix-up, more or less of the time. You've got 1, which is the homing. You've got 3+4, which is the tracking if they try and step. You've got 2, which is a heat dash launcher, which is safe. That's really good. And then you've got also the heat smash, the low heat smash, right, which is really, really good. It also breaks floors. Up forward 1 is really good. Counter hit if you're in heat. Up forward 1, counter hit into Heaven's Wrath, confirm, and then do Heaven's Wrath 2 into a heat dash combo. That's very good. Okay, let's talk about the weaknesses of REINA, right? Which are they're pretty severe weaknesses. Basically, the main weakness of REINA is, I didn't talk about unbreakable throws as well, which is a very good thing for REINA. She has very good throws that are unbreakable in Sentai and Heaven's Wrath, which is very important, and we'll get onto that in the weaknesses. Okay. The weaknesses of REINA are that she is very steppable to the left, which is why forward 4-2 is so good, mind you. But yeah, you can step basically everything to the left. Even electric doesn't track nearly as much as KAZUYA's, in my opinion. Well, it's close, but it doesn't track as much. You can step it a lot easier than KAZUYA's. And the other key difference, the other key weakness of REINA's is the lows that she has. They're pretty bad. I mean, they might be the worst lows in the game, to be honest. Which is why her unbreakable throws are really good, right? Down back 4 and side step 4 are the only lows that aren't launch punishable. Also, there is no low that she's plus on. Side step 4 is neutral on hit, and that's the most she gets out of any lows. Down back 2-2 is -16 on block and -3 on hit. I still use it occasionally. Really, you're just going to use Hell Sweep as a low, really. I mean, this is just it is a very good Hell Sweep because it guarantees a Heaven's Wrath mix-up. But yeah, so 2 key weaknesses, right? But they are quite big weaknesses. And in my attempt to be unbiased, I kind of went the opposite way and kind of looked at her through rose-tinted glasses, right? So she is weaker than I originally put on the list. So I put her down a bit, but she is very, very strong. Make no mistake, she is a very strong character. Okay, let's talk about KAZUYA. KAZUYA is my second. I currently have him at Bushin. With the prowess change, right? I'm sure all of you already know this, but if you have multiple characters that are ranked quite highly, so for me, for example, I have a lot of characters that are ranked, you know, Fujin, Raijin, Kishin, right? So I have King at Fujin. I think I have these guys at Fujin. Don't hate me, I was playing them a couple of times. Law was at Tekken King. Jin's at Fujin. Lee's at Fujin or Raijin. Deljin's at Fujin. Brian's at Fujin. Steve's at Fujin. So I have a lot of characters at Fujin, as well as my main and KAZUYA. So my prowess, basically, because it's like 280, puts me against players with prowess of none below 250, 250,000. So last night, for example, I was playing a lot of KAZUYA ranked, and I was getting really stressed out playing against, you know, God of Destructions, basically. That was going up against people with 360k prowess, 400k prowess. Really, really good players. And I was having a hard time with him, man. I can't lie. I was having a hard time with KAZUYA. I did get back to Bushin, but yeah, it's tough. Okay, so with that being said, let's talk about KAZUYA's strengths, right? Okay, first things first. He has everything from Tekken 7. Forward forward 3, he has Hell Sweep, he has forward forward 4, he has down back 4, minus 12 low, there's plus 4 on hit. It's very good for Kazuya, plus 4 mind, because his down forward 2 is 14 frames, right? So it's very good. He has down 1 plus 2, which is a minus 14 low counter hit launcher that high crushes, which is plus 3 on hit, which is very good. I think it's actually quicker than in Tekken 7. Correct me if I'm wrong about that, but I think it is actually quicker. Electric is obviously very good. I don't really need to speak about electric. I'm sure you already know about electric. Everybody's watching this. And down back 1-2 is a very good 13 frame punish. It is minus 19, but if you use it as a punish, it's very good. It's also a heat engager. Down forward 1, down forward 2 is a safe mid. Second hit counter hit launches. If the first hit counter hits, it knocks down. So that is super good. That's super good. What else? Devil Fist, forward forward 2. Quite a lot of reach. It has good range. It tracks to his weak side, which is a very big deal for Kazuya. Yeah, it tracks to his weak side, which is really important. Yeah, it's a heat engager. It's safe mid. Oh, okay. Let's talk about heat. Kazuya and heat, right? Kazuya, you play him a little bit differently in this game to Tekken 7. His wall pressure in Tekken 7 was pretty decent, but in this game it's much, much stronger. What you do with Kazuya, basically the game plan, as far as I understand it, or how I play him, and I think how most people play him, playing a lot of Kazuyas online, they all kind of do what I do, is you launch them, get them to the wall, do your heat burst bound, do your wall combo, like down forward 3 plus 4, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2. That's what I use for it anyway, 1 plus 2, 1 plus 2. And then they wake up into Oki. Either I'll do down back 4 or I'll do forward 4. I'll do the main man sequence, right? I'll do forward 4, electric, down back 1, 2. And the thing is, with that move, down back 1, 2, you can visually confirm whether they actually get hit by the first, like the down back 1, or they block it. If they block it, you then hold forward to do a heat dash, and instead of it being minus 19, it's plus 5 and it does a ton of chip damage. And then plus 5 is very good for Kazuya. If they get hit by it, then you just don't hold forward. Or you can press forward, right? You don't have to press forward. And then you get a wall splat and you do a regular wall combo, which is very good. What else can I talk about? Heaven's Gate. Heaven's Gate in the neutral, you can use lasers as Oki, which is pretty good. The forward tech out of his combos is pretty good. It makes up for the lack of damage in his combos, at least. He's a bit lackluster in his damage. And also, if you do Heaven's Gate, like Hell Sweep Heaven's Gate, at the wall, if they press anything whatsoever, you can do down back 1. If they press anything and you do down back 1, 2, heat dash. And remember, you can confirm this as well. Then it launches them off the ground, basically, and you get another wall combo, which scales really badly, but it's still another wall combo into Oki, which is very good. Is there anything I'm missing from his strengths? Okay, let's talk about his weaknesses. The obvious is sidewalk left, everything of Kazuya's. The thing is, though, he has forward 2, right? You slice up that to the right instead of the left. So that makes stepping him a little more tricky from range, but if you're up close, you step to the left. It's always going to be a thing with Kazuya. You step him to the left. You step him to the left, basically. That's his big weakness. Oh, and also, I didn't talk about his terrible hitboxes in his combos. His combos are super inconsistent. That's probably my biggest problem with Kazuya, is that his combos are super inconsistent, and it can be very annoying if you end up whiffing down forward 1, follow it up with down forward 2, and then your opponent has time to get up off the ground and launch you. That's really annoying, and that's a big negative to playing Kazuya, is you never really know if your combo is going to drop or not, because down forward 1 hitbox is very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. So that's a big deal. That's a big weakness, which I didn't mention in the tier list, to be fair. And I should have mentioned it because it is a big gripe that I have with KAZUYA. It's my biggest gripe that I have with KAZUYA. It's very annoying trying to do combos and then being really, really inconsistent the whole time. He takes a huge risk with this Hell Sweep mix-up. But that's the price he pays for Oki, right? Yes. So that's why, you know, he's played that way. It's high risk, high reward. The Waivu mix-up, the actual 50-50 you do, whether it's Hell Sweep or forward 3 when you're wave dashing in their face, that's not a true mix-up. If you do, you have to be very clever about. You have to be pretty clever about how you time the moves out of wave dash. You can't just do like three wave dashes into forward 3, and then next time you do 3 wave dashes into Hell Sweep, because your opponent can actually fuzzy that because the Hell Sweep is much faster than the forward 3, even though the forward 3 isn't really reactable like at all. Although the animation starts at the like first frame of the move, right? As the move comes out, he lifts his leg right above his head, and it's really easy to see if a forward 3 is coming. Hell Sweep is much faster, so if they're waving in, if they do 3 like they did before, then you duck, there's no Hell Sweep, you see the leg, and then you stand up again. You don't even need to see the whole leg to see if it's a forward 3 or not. You know that's coming, right? If they're doing that 50-50, it's kind of fake. You can't fuzzy that. The true 50-50, and this is a big execution barrier, is doing while standing 2. Because it's very similar frames to the Hell Sweep, right? So you can just do while standing 2, instant while standing 2 out of Waivu, or the Hell Sweep. That's the true mix-up. So there's a big execution barrier there with its actual true 50-50, and they're both launch punishable. So KAZUYA takes a lot of risks. If you have good reads and very good whiff punishment, he will be effective with electric, but he's very high maintenance. And playing in higher ranks now, you really just can't make a mistake, because people aren't making any of themselves in terms of like whiff punishment, or if you mess up an electric, you're kind of fucked. So yeah, I overestimated him, partly because I was having such a good time with him in like Kishin, Raijin, when I was actually playing against players that well actually like Raijin and Kishin. Now I'm playing against players who are playing sub characters that are in like, you know, Tekken Emperor, Tekken God Supreme, God of Destruction, because of the prowess change. So I really do see like how difficult it is to get anything going with KAZUYA. And basically his game plan is so basic in terms of like you only really use a few moves because he's very fundamentally based, right? You really only play him, you really want to wait for your opponent to make an opening and then whiff punishment electric, right? It's very high maintenance to play this character at a high level, I'm realizing. I mean, I already knew it was difficult to play him, but I had such a good time in ranked. Yeah, I overrated him. I was looking at these guys through rose-tinted glasses because I've played a lot of them, and I really do see their strengths, but last night I really saw this guy's weaknesses. I already knew his weaknesses, but it really showed last night. And I was playing against Azucenas, Dragonovs, Fengways, Xiaoyus, Juns, all the time. He really struggles to keep up. He's strong in this game, but he just doesn't compare to these guys. He really, really doesn't. So I do see your guys' point. Because if your opponent really knows what they're doing and is very competent with their character, especially playing these characters, you basically have to kind of try twice as hard with this character. Because some of these, well, in fact, most of these guys are very low maintenance. King is higher maintenance than most of these guys. But most of them are very low maintenance. You don't have to have there's no execution barrier. You don't have to have like advanced fundamentals for like whiff punishment. Whiff punishment is super important with him, like sidestep electric. These guys, they don't have to utilize that as much as this guy. So yeah, that's why KAZUYA's there. Devil Jin is basically just above Kazuya in terms of strength, I think. His strengths are... I'm going to do him quickly because this video is going on a bit. It's 25 minutes, but... Devil Jin, Morning Crow is good, but people will kind of just stand mid-range and wait for Shackle and Duck. Like, it's difficult in the neutral. When Devil Jin's not in heat, he's very risky. He has to take big risks. His pokes aren't that great. His electric is good, of course. Up 4 has been nerfed, right? So anybody can launch it now, although he does recover crouching, which can be really annoying sometimes. But that's just a knowledge check, really. But yeah, up 4 has been nerfed, so he can't stay flying anymore. When he gets blocked, he can't stay flying. Laser Scraper's good. Still, the third hit you can step to the right though, so I mean that's nerfed. I mean that's not nerfed, but it's still, you know, there's still a counterplay to that, right? Where it becomes difficult with Devil Jin. Oh, and also he also has a safe knockdown homing mid out of Wave Dash, right? CD 1+2, which is pretty good, but it's quite slow. In Heat is where this character shines. Obviously, Psycho Crusher hits from across the room, hits from across the stage, right? Does a ton of damage. Wall breaks, it's homing, you can't step it. Comes out at 18 frames. Be afraid to like even do anything from any distance when this guy's in heat. And that is very good for Devil Jin because he's a 50-50 character. And then he can go in and threaten you with 50-50s because of the looming threat of Psycho Crusher, right? It also means sometimes you can kind of get away with Shackle doing it quite close because you don't want to duck in case he does Psycho Crusher, right? So yeah, Morning Crow becomes better. Like he doesn't even have to do Shackle really. That's kind of risky. You can just do Morning Crow in heat and kind of get free mix-ups on you. You can react, but it's kind of tricky. Obviously in Morning Crow he also has his unblockable high grab heat smash, right? Like the second heat smash. So in heat he also has like some moves that are unsafe without heat and now safe in heat. Like up forward 3+4 for example becomes safe with the lasers. And his wave dash mix up, right? His safe CD 1+2 is now a launcher in heat, which is really, really good as well. Because if you pair that with Psycho Crusher, it becomes very good. Or pretty decent at least. Obviously step this character to the left, step Morning Crow to the right. Apart from if he does the homing. And I should talk about that as well. So in Morning Crow, he has the 1 option, which is very plus on block. Or he has 2-2, which is homing. And, you know, it's -13. This guy can punish that. No, it's -14, right? It's not -13. But the thing is, like for example, if he does his heat smash and then is forced into Morning Crow, if you think he's going to do 1, you can jab interrupt, right? You can float him. But if he does 2-2, it's -14. But he can just choose to do 2, and then there's the mental frames of is he going to finish a string or not? Oh, he didn't finish the string, it's too late to punish. But yeah, he's pretty risky and quite weak in the neutral, like in without heat, sorry. On the neutral without heat. In heat, he is a force to be reckoned with. His heat smash is very, very, very good. Okay, that just about covers this kind of review of the tier list that I did a couple of days ago. Well, these guys in particular, I was looking through rose-tinted glasses, to be honest. I wanted to be really unbiased when it came to my main characters, and I kind of went too generous in placing them on the list. Yeah, I found it pretty difficult to be unbiased, I guess. I tried so hard to be unbiased, I became biased in the opposite direction. So anyway, yeah, I overrated these guys. I can admit when I'm wrong. These other characters, where they are now, I do believe this list is right now. I really do. And if some of you guys heavily disagree with me on that, I mean, you're welcome to disagree, but I'm not going to change anything else. this is where it's going to be. And also the May patch is, you know, a day away tomorrow. So looking forward to that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of this kind of redo of the tier list. I would have just left this alone, but these guys, it just didn't sit well with me that I put these guys so high on the list. Especially him. Like, he does work really, really hard. I've been playing this guy more than REINA. I've been playing KAZUYA a lot. And he's very difficult to play. He's very, very fucking difficult to play. He's so fucking difficult to play. Holy fuck. So anyway, right, that's just the time I spent playing him earlier in ranked coming through there. I played against so many of these guys. Dragunov, Azucena, Xiaoyu, and Jun over and over and over and over again. And to be honest, it got very, very tiring. But anyway, that's just me rambling on. It is 8:43 in the morning and I haven't slept, so I'm going to go to sleep. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.